Wiles referred to President Trump as someone having a, quote, alcoholic personality. She also talked a lot about the vice president, J.D. Vance, someone who I should note, had this conversion that Whipple noted as well from never Trumper to a MAGA acolyte.
Wiles already responded. Let me read you some of this. She said the article published early this morning is a disingenuously framed hit piece on me. Who's telling the truth? Is there context that may explain this? It's time for media malpractice. Sometimes people forget that Donald Trump is a human being. Sometimes people get that Pete Hegseth is a human being. Sometimes people forget that anyone, Candace Owens, Erica Kirk, Nick Fuentes is a human being. When you see these public figures. Legacy media has thrived. It requires dehumanizing people with whom they disagree. And of course, the people with whom they disagree are those with traditional values, those who represent half of the country. The half that elects presidents. They are corrupt. You know it. I know it. But this latest example is so glaring to the point that you almost wonder if they've just decided that this is their last ditch. It's a Hail Mary. They're not even going to try and appear as though they're practicing journalism whatsoever. So Vanity Fair released this 10,000 plus word piece on Donald Trump and more specifically his chief of staff, Susie Wiles.
A revealing new interview with really the most powerful person in President Trump's White House beyond him, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, commenting and going there on a wide range of topics, it seems, with Vanity Fair in a new series of interviews, from the handling of the Epstein investigation to her assessment of the big names on
just
Donald
like Francis
Trump's
Marion.
team.
Let me get into some of the main things that I found very notable from what Chris Whipple, who works with Vanity Fair, detailed from their conversations. One is that Wiles referred to President Trump as someone having a, quote, alcoholic personality. She also talked a lot about the vice president, J.D. Vance, someone who I should note, had this conversion that Whipple noted as well from never Trumper to a MAGA acolyte. Susie Wiles essentially said that change, that conversion has been, quote, sort of political. And she said the vice president has been a, quote, conspiracy theorist for a decade.
Okay. Wiles already responded. Let me read you some of this. She said the article published early this morning is a disingenuously framed hit piece on me and the finest president, White House staff, and cabinet in history. Significant context was disregarded in much of what I and others said about the team, and the president was left out of the story. I assume that after reading it, that this was done to paint an overwhelmingly chaotic and negative narrative about the president and our team. The truth is the Trump White House has already accomplished more in 11 months than any other president has accomplished in 8 years, and that is due to the unmatched leadership and vision of President Trump, for whom I have been honored to work for the better part of a decade. None of this will stop our relentless pursuit of making America great again. And I know what you're saying, or what you're thinking. Well, of course she has to say that because she, Wiles doesn't want to lose her job, especially around the holidays. But who's right? Who's telling the truth? Is there context that may explain this? It's time for media malpractice. All right, so rapid fire. We're just going to go through this. All the references, links available in the description. First, Vanity Fair claim from the author. We'll get to him later on, his background, Chris Whipple. First claim was that January 6th was a bloody riot. This is what he wrote. Then Trump issued pardons to almost everyone convicted in the bloody January 6th, 2021 assault on the Capitol, in which 9 people ultimately died and 150 were injured. There's more that he wrote. I don't want to read it. Do I need to say anything else? Everything else is in chronological order. This one was so egregious. Honestly, I had to look up where they got the number 9.
Yeah.
I've never heard that number before. I remember early on they said 5, which was false.
Right.
The furthest I'd seen people go was 7, which is false. 9 just seems as though it's anyone tangentially related to. In other words, if someone happened to be in the zip code January 6th and has died since then, if you calculated all of that up, you'd get 9. Here's the truth. Ashley Babbitt was the only one who was killed at the Capitol on January 6th. That 9 includes strokes, overdoses, suicides, some of which are months after and have no relation to January 6th. And that one guy who tried to shut down power to the building.
I love
Poor
how
guy.
they just lead off trying to reframe it as a bloody coup, where tons of people died. How many times do we have to sit through this? Until, I mean, do people really believe this anymore? Like, do you think their audience actually does?
I don't know. I think some people out there actually do.
Well, by 2040, at least a few people will have died of natural causes.
True.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. It would be like doing an article on this show, let's say in 2050, and saying, and 4 people died at Lattimer crater. Like, well, one of them got AIDS later on because he was gay.
Yeah, my count's only 2.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right. 2.
You know,
So-
if they were being honest, intellectually honest, you would go into one of the suicides that I'm sure that they counted in this on a guy who was ready to kind of settle. He didn't do anything, anything bad really, other than kind of do on a walking tour.
Right.
But they tried to throw terrorism charges on top of it and put him away for the rest of his life, and so he killed himself.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be something to bring up.
Here's the next claim from Vanity Fair, that President Trump has an alcoholic's personality. Here's the quote. Trump, she told me, has an alcoholic's personality. Okay. Here's the truth. The context actually makes it clear that this was a compliment. So let me read you the context that was omitted. Some clinical psychologist that knows 1 million times more than I do will dispute what I'm going to say. This is, I believe, Wiles discussing this in the article, saying, but high-functioning alcoholics or alcoholics in general, their personalities are exaggerated when they drink. And so I'm a little bit of an expert in big personalities. Trump has an alcoholic's personality. He operates with a view that there's nothing he can't do. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. It seems that that context is actually complimentary. And I think it's pretty well known that Donald Trump is a teetotaler. He doesn't drink at all.
Right.
As a matter, here's how you know it's true. No one's ever attacked him for being an alcoholic. No one's ever attacked him for abusing alcohol. The left would use it as they do with Pete Hegseth, trying to say he's a drunk because he got drunk one time at a hotel. So this idea that anyone would buy this, it just tells you how little of an attempt there is for Vanity Fair to be accurate. And actually the opposite. They're deliberately lying to you. This isn't omission. This is a lie. So let me read it again. He operates with a view, like an alcoholic, that there's nothing he can't do. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. That sounds like Donald Trump, including taking on an entire Chinese gang alone.
I got the bottle. There's another one. Whoops. Whoops. In your eyes. I don't drink. I'm gonna come.
Do you think that's a good idea? Don't worry. It gives him power.
Here it comes. Get ready. A lot of drinking. I'm not used to it. Bang! Look at that surprise. Oh, over you, little Chinaman. Bang! Kick! Another kick. Here comes the tie. Oh, elbow. Look, I'm feeling it. And block. Right elbow. Ooh, that hurts right on your toe. You ever stub your toe? Hit! I'm gonna break it. Look at that. You have no chance.
Worth it.
That's ridiculous.
Was it? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yes,
Sometimes we're sitting here and we're just like, all right, just run the clip and we'll just dub it as Trump as a drunken Chinese master and let's see what happens.
It was awesome.
I don't think that's real.
I
don't think he really did that.
No, that's the director's cut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Donald Trump was a director. That's his commentary.
Yes.
Look at this little Chinaman. Look what he does. Look, he moves very. The Peking Opera, they would, if you didn't jump over a table properly, they'd beat you and place you in a closet. They didn't get everything wrong.
All right. Next claim, unless anyone has more to add, and I think we've wrapped that one up.
Yeah.
And this one is really bad. That Charlie Kirk's assassination was just like the Reichstag fire.
Oh, really?
Charlie Kirk, here's a quote. Charlie Kirk's assassination in September turbocharged Trump's campaign of revenge and retribution. Critics have compared this moment to a Reichstag fire, a modern version of Hitler's exploitation of the torching of Berlin's parliament. Okay.
Jeez.
Here's the truth. First off, the comparisons to Hitler and the comparisons to Nazi, that's a big reason why Charlie Kirk was killed.
Yeah.
Through radicalized leftists, and we told you that, and you guys have kept doing it. But the real truth is the SS started said fire.
Oops.
So unless they're implying that President Trump killed Charlie Kirk, it couldn't be less apt of a comparison. He did, President Trump, start a couple of fires, though. And that's fun.
It's just different fires.
Yeah, the name's a little on the nose.
I mean, just think about that. They just can't help themselves.
Well, and it's not even something that the author is claiming. It's just saying, well, and some critics have said. It's like, well, you didn't even need to throw that in there. Like, well, what's the real point of throwing that in? Name the critics who said that.
It's such a cop-out.
I know.
That being said, Donald Trump does that too.
He does.
Guarantee he'll say,
A lot of people have told me that Chris Whipple, oh, what a small penis he has. I say, I wouldn't know that unless you, but they say it. The people who've seen it say it. He's an angry little penis boy. I would never say that. That's what people tell me. I say, stop it.
Is a Whipple nipple.
Whipple. Pumper third nipple, they call him.
You know that was rough as a child, though. Come on.
Of course it was.
Maybe deservedly so now, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Nerds can deserve to be beaten up. I was one of them. Here's the fourth claim from Vanity Fair. Again, all the references available, link in the description. And by the way, best way to stay in touch, download the Rumble app. Follow me there. Get out of these social media ghettos where they determine what you see and what you don't. Just follow me on Rumble. You get to see when we're live. Of course, weekdays, 11 a.m. And sometimes we do some special streams, special uploads. The claim is that ICE has arrested 170 Americans.
Whoa.
Man, that's big.
Yeah, here's the truth. This writer, Whipple,
Whipple, pumpkin, pumper third nipple, whatever it is.
Yeah, pumpkin nipples.
That's what he is. They call him Pumpkinhead with nipples. He roams the earth with his nipples hanging from his horse looking for his real nipple.
This writer got it from a ProPublica report, which in the report clearly states 72% of these people were held for interfering with ICE. You know, punching, kicking, screaming, committing assault, and the remaining 28% were questioned and released. You know, like someone who's questioned, arrested, or brought in for questioning regarding a crime, and they go, okay, you're free to go.
Yeah, there you go.
So what they want you to believe is that 170 American citizens, have been arrested by ICE and had their rights violated. And perhaps you'll even fill in the blanks and think that they've been deported. The truth is, these were criminals who were committing assault and battery on ICE, or they were brought in for questioning, they were detained, and they were released. That's it.
It's pretty simple.
How does Vanity Fair get it this wrong? Well, I think you know the answer. Next claim, number 5 from Vanity Fair. That President Trump wants a regime change in Venezuela. It's not about drugs. He wrote, over lunch, Wiles told me about Trump's Venezuela strategy. He wants to keep on blowing boats up until Maduro cries uncle. Oh. I'm starting to... wait, he's writing that like a bad thing? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And people way smarter than me on that say he will. Wiles' statement appears to contradict the administration's official stance that blowing up boats is about drug interdiction, not regime change. Here's the truth. You know, regime change might be a happy accident, but these are drug boats, which publications like Vanity Fair in the past tried to obfuscate. Remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So here's some more context. Wiles didn't mince words. The president believes in harsh penalties for drug dealers. As he said many, many, many times, these are not fishing boats, as some would like to allege. The boats, she argued, carried drugs. Eliminating them saves lives. The president says 25,000. I don't know what the number is, but he views those as lives saved, not people killed. And on whether President Trump will take out Maduro, well, he's still thinking about it.
I haven't done it yet. I may do it. If this doesn't work out, probably I will do it. I would almost say definitely.
I love that answer.
Still not sure, yeah.
Maybe, very possible, very likely, maybe not.
Yeah.
Almost 100%.
Probably, absolutely.
Look, they always say blowing up drug boats always comes before E, except on the sea. And maybe they'll be happy, or maybe it's me. Aesop.
So claim number 6 from Vanity Fair. And this one comes by way of Brian Krasenstein.
Oh, jeez.
Gay. Says that
Bless you.
Wiles, yeah, thank you. Okay.
Gesundheit.
All right. Wiles said Trump is in the Epstein files, is one of the claims. Here's the truth. She said he's in the file and said so to clarify that he didn't do anything. Here's what Wiles said. Trump is in the file, and we know he's in the file, and he's not in the file doing anything awful. I told you a very long time ago, the one thing that you can be guaranteed of regarding the Epstein files is that Donald Trump is in it because he worked with authorities.
We already knew this.
We already knew this. Like, there's no world in which he's not in the file. Now, I think the files should be public. I think the public has a right to know,
Yep.
especially since it was promised. But this idea that it's somehow a scandal, it's silly. 10,000 words.
10,000 plus.
The next claim number 7 from Vanity Fair, that Elon Musk is a ketamine fiend. He said Wiles described Musk as something akin to a jacked up Nosferatu. I'm going to wrap that as a nickname on my Cybertruck.
Jacked up
It's the jacked up Nosferatu. It's really cool.
You know he would.
The challenge with Elon is keeping up with him, she told me. He's an avowed ketamine user, and he sleeps in a sleeping bag in the executive office building in the daytime. And he's an odd duck, as I think geniuses are. You know, it's not helpful, but he is his own person. Here's the truth. This one pretty much seems true.
That seems right.
Yeah. This one.
And also, Scott Bessent probably punched him in the face.
Yeah, probably.
Scott Bessent's probably his supplier.
Well,
Right.
maybe.
Do you think that went further than we knew with Scott Bessent?
I think so.
Careful, you're messing with Nosferatu. I'm undead.
And also on ketamine.
Not to mention, look, so you see all of these claims, and now you know the truth. And I hope that you go check out the references. But this also is important to note, like, the background of somebody does matter if it is in line with the bias that you see in their reporting, in their writing.
Yeah.
In this case, well, what do we know about Chris Whipple? He's a very well-known leftist political author, writes for New York Times, Daily Beast, Politico. He ignored Biden's mental decline in his 2023 book, The Fight for His Life, to be clear. Also, this is the picture of Caroline Leavitt that he picked. And here's the thing. Like, people are telling me the women were saying you can see where she gets lip injections.
Yeah.
Now, first off, I think Caroline Leavitt is a very pretty woman. She doesn't need lip injections. It's not a thing that women overdo it. But I've never seen marks from lip injections. They would have had to proactively find this picture. And I know I have been to places where they have had before and after of women who get lip injections, right? A close-up. And you still don't see where the lip injections have taken place. Somehow, Vanity Fair accidentally picked that picture that, by the way, doesn't even look. Bring it back up. Does that look like Caroline Leavitt?
No.
Someone wouldn't recognize her. So how is that journalism?
It's not. It's
She looks yellow too. Like they put a filter on it, like when they did Joe Rogan dirty.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but they certainly weren't picking a picture that would be most clearly indicative of Caroline Leavitt.
Yeah.
If your goal is for the reader to be informed, hey, here's Caroline Leavitt as we talk about her. You know her, you've seen her, you know her job. All right, now let me give you context. Instead, it's just used to try and get some jabs in.
It's just petty.
Yeah, that was them going, oh, these are the things that this lady said, and also, look, ew.
Yeah, exactly right.
What do you think about this?
Right.
Like, okay.
And when asked his thoughts about the article, President Trump had this to say.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
You know what? I agree.
Good point. A little crude, but it gets the point.
That's one of my favorite presidential quotes ever.
Oh, yes.
And then my favorite presidential walk ever is him with the bandage on his ear walking out. Mm-hmm. Like, this guy has some, people use the term aura. He's got aura. And he's had some moments.
He gets it all over everybody around him.
It's my second favorite presidential quote of all time.
What's your first?
What's my first? It's President George W. Bush. Mm-hmm. You fool me once, shame on you. You fool me, you can't get fooled again.
Yeah.
You can't fool a fooler.
Yeah.
You can't fool the
I do like that one. My favorite is, are you gonna finish that? That was Taft.
Oh.
But we were asking this during the break. Taft, Grover Cleveland is the second most overweight president.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, I said Garfield. My bad.
Yeah,
I was thinking
you
of
were
the
thinking
cat.
of Arthur.
I was thinking of the cat.
Yes.
With the lasagna and the Mondays.
Yeah. And I was thinking of the cat that's a clock. Oh, you're still here? And you're still watching this on YouTube? You've probably noticed something is missing by now. I'm not here. That's because the Live Daily Show is now streaming exclusively on Rumble weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tune in there, where nothing is censored.